Hello and welcome to the Searching for Evidence session. We will search for evidence using resources available via the Healthcare Library of Northern Ireland. This session covers the steps to follow when searching for existing evidence on your topic and outlines the access options you have to specialist databases and sources of evidence. We will look at what we mean by searching for evidence, where you are going to look for the evidence, and how to perform a search on one of the databases available to you. When searching for evidence, start by developing a searchable question using the PICO format. So you have decided on a topic or a subject and you want to search for existing literature or evidence that has been published on the subject. You now need to plan your literature search. Step 1 in planning your literature search is to devise a search question or statement which, as clearly and concisely as possible, covers everything you want to search for. In formulating your question, you will find it helpful to use the PICO format to focus your thoughts and define your question. PICO stands for Population, Intervention, Comparison, and Outcome. Not all of these components need to be included in your question. For example, a question that includes all 4 components is: what is the evidence that for children with cerebral palsy, your population, electrical stimulation therapy, your intervention, is more effective than physiotherapy alone, your comparison, in improving motor functions, your outcome? Whereas the question below, although concise and succinct, does not include all 4 components. Is there evidence to demonstrate the effectiveness of neuromuscular electrical stimulation, your intervention, with stroke patients, your population, in improving swallowing difficulties, your outcome? Having arrived at a search question, the next step is to try and simplify it further by removing any words that aren't essential to your search. So using the previous examples, remove the words you aren't going to search for, leaving the main subjects you will search for in the database. For this question, what is the evidence for children with cerebral palsy? Electrical stimulation therapy is more effective than physiotherapy alone in improving motor functions. We will search the databases for cerebral palsy, electrical stimulation therapy, physiotherapy, and motor function. Then, when the searches are completed, we will limit the results to children only. For their second question, is there evidence to demonstrate the effectiveness of neuromuscular electrical stimulation with stroke patients in improving swallowing difficulties? In this question, we will search the databases for stroke patients, neuromuscular electrical stimulation, and swallowing difficulties. The next step is to identify synonyms to add to your search. The more synonyms you include in your search, the more thorough your search will be, and you will increase your chances of finding relevant papers about your topic. Simply put, a synonym is a word or phrase which means exactly or almost exactly the same as another word. So, for example, heart attack or myocardial infarction, high blood pressure or hypertension. For question 2, some synonyms you might want to include in your search are: for stroke patients or stroke rehabilitation; for your intervention, neuromuscular electrical stimulation, or the acronym NMES; and for swallowing difficulty or dysphagia or deglutition disorders. The next step will be to combine your searches using AND or. This is known as Boolean logic. When searching the databases, you will enter each of your chosen terms one at a time. So for the example in question 2, if you decide to search for all the suggested synonyms, your search strategy will begin with 8 separate searches. When you complete all of your searches, you will then combine using AND or OR. OR combines similar terms, so when we combine all our terms for stroke with OR, the results will be placed in one search and all the results in that search will be around the stroke concept. AND combines different terms, so when you combine your stroke search with the NAMES search, for example, you will get citations on both stroke and neuromuscular electrical stimulation. The next step is to apply some filters or limits to your search. There are various filters you might want to apply to the final results of your search. Publication years. You may only want citations from the last 5 to 10 years or from a range of years. Language. You can apply English language as a filter, as databases do contain multilingual citations. Age groups. You can apply your results to age groups if necessary. This would apply to the example we used in question 1. And types of publication. You can limit your results within databases to systematic reviews or randomized controlled trials only, among other types of publication. Access to databases. All HSC employees in Northern Ireland have access to the Healthcare Library of Northern Ireland, which provides free library and information services for HSC staff. To join the Healthcare Library of Northern Ireland and obtain login details to enable you to access the e-resources on the site, search for it. It should be the top search engine result or go directly to the URL below. The Healthcare Library is accessible from any location, home and work. To join, click Membership on the website and then New Member Registration. Complete the online form, submit, and click Verify Email on the email you will receive immediately to your work or personal email. Your registration will then be processed and log-on details forwarded. Find databases by clicking on the Databases A to Z link just below the search box on the library homepage. The two main databases for finding evidence for allied health via the Healthcare Library are CINAHL, which is hosted on the EBSCO platform, and Medline, which is hosted on the Ovid platform. Help and support with databases and other library resources is offered by the Specialist Librarian for Allied Health. Contact details can be found on the library website under Training and Support Specialist Librarians. Support is also available on the dedicated Subject Guide for Allied Health. If you click on the Finding Articles tab in the Subject Guide, the databases are listed along with general tips on searching the databases. Your specialist librarian can carry out a literature search on request. Under the Training and Support tab on the library homepage, there is a link to an online request form, Request a Literature Search. And the training calendar under Training and Support lists ongoing training for allied health. This normally takes place monthly online with a live demonstration of a search on the CINAHL and Medline databases. Training can also be requested from the specialist librarian at any time, either for groups or one-to-one sessions. Let's perform a live search now on Medline via the Healthcare Library site.